Well, good morning, everybody. Just a couple people in here right at the moment, but we did a short intro this morning. Redneck Tech was able to get in here for a couple of minutes, but he's got to get on the road. He's got some serious meetings to go to. So, good morning, Jerry. Good morning, Gus. Good morning, Chad. Good to see you, Penny LaRue. Good morning, and he's off like a herd of turtles. Jay Holland. Good morning. Good to see you. Gus, good morning. Fresh banana bread at Mom's. I wish. Morning, Lolly. I will break every fucking thing. I will make you regret ever having an appointment during this morning show. I'm gonna fuck everything up. Well, thank you, sir.
Making them dirt road dollars way out yonder.
Redneck Tech support. Them 30 bitties. Yes, I know. I know. So here's the deal. uh, you know, oops, my house, not Mom's. So let's talk about what's going on. Heaven forbid. Heaven forbid that people would. Don Martin, good morning. Who the hell just called me? Somebody just called me. Hopefully it wasn't that important. Oh, it's a Redneck Tech. My bad. My bad, brother. I had the ringer off on my old shit talker over there. Better move it over here, though, so I can put a cord in its ass. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah!
Uh-oh. Baby Shark didn't work. Trucker, because I can't strip. Yeah! Alright, I appreciate the follow. Thank you very much. So, let's talk about, it seems our soundboard decided not to work again today. And unfortunately, Redneck Tech is out of the house. So, the soundboard is not going to work. No Baby Shark. Ha! Bink, good morning. Good to see you. Yeah. So anyways, now did you guys hear about the women's soccer team? The USA women's soccer team. You guys heard that story yet? So they go and they put an ass whooping on, I believe it was Thailand. And it doesn't matter who it is. It wouldn't matter what country it was. They win 13-0. Hammer the piss out of them. And now they're being criticized because of the fact that they didn't stop scoring in the middle of the game. It's on the officials to declare a mercy rule, by the way, just so you know that. But because we're in such a participation trophy era, let's go ahead and say, hey, fuck it. It's the team's responsibility to just stop scoring. You're in a World Cup game, so let's sit here and say, oh no, you shouldn't have scored that much. That is insane. I don't understand this. Okay, now I have been on teams that get their asses handed to them, and I have been on teams that have been an absolute dominant force. I've been on both ends of the spectrum here. Okay, I have been on both ends of the spectrum of this, and there's a thing called a mercy rule, but it is on the officials to put this out there. If the officials didn't call for a mercy rule, it is what it is. There's a thing in the college level, I forgot what level, because there's like 500 levels of college football, but they have the thing called the buddy rule. Because this guy from Texas, this coach from Texas, his team He takes a team, and it's basically a university that kind of takes fuck up students and makes them better students. And they have enacted this thing called the buddy rule because of the fact that when he trains these teams, they are a dominant ass kicking force. Like literally will slaughter people all the way up into the triple digits. So they call it the buddy rule. They throw the flag out and say, here's the buddy rule. Absolutely asinine. And then who in their right mind has the right to criticize a sports team? This is what they get paid to do. This is what their sponsors pay them to do. Okay, they pay them to be the dominant force in sports. Why would they not want to be the dominant force? This brings money for them. Now, all of a sudden, now what? You're going to have this liberal left side that is going to go and attack these women for not only doing what they've trained their entire lives to do, but doing it better than anybody else. And they're going to be criticized for this. I swear, there are people that just sit on the internet looking for something to bitch about. Oh my God, this is like bullying. Are you kidding me? You're in a world league, which means you're playing the best of the best of the world. My bad. The United States has a very dominant team. The United States just whooped your ass. Take it, champ. Because had the United States gotten beat up that bad, you wouldn't have heard shit about it. I don't know. I would like to know what y'all think about this. I'd like to really, I'd really like to hear about this because this is absolutely asinine. This is asinine 100%. You know. Morning, Jody. Good to see you. Rich. Good morning. Good to see you. Um, what we're talking about, Jody, is the U.S. women's soccer team putting an ass whooping down. Krippner, good morning. Putting an ass whooping down, and now they're being criticized because of the fact that they beat them 13-0. That they should have stopped scoring. Isn't the objective of the game to score points? Isn't the objective of the game to win? Morning, Ruger wife. I mean, just somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, maybe sports have changed since I was in high school when I played, but you're talking World League here. You're talking World League. You're talking the best of the best from around the world. Ohio, good morning. Good to see you. I hope you got some coffee this morning, brother. Um, I don't get this. I don't understand this. I'm perplexed by this by all different forms of fashions because if the sponsors pay this team to win and they get bonuses for being the best and they're supposed to be showing the fact that they are the dominant force of women's soccer, didn't they just do everything that they were recruited to do? Didn't they just do everything that they're paid to do? But yet they're going to be criticized for blowing somebody out 13-0 in soccer? My bad. It's funny because the United States has long been known to create some of the best athletes in the world. I mean, the United States tops most athletic charts, for all different types. I mean, they have most of the records, I believe, in the Olympics. I believe they have the majority of the records. If I'm wrong, correct me, but I believe they have the majority of the records in the United States or in the Olympics because of the freedom that's allowed to us to do that. But now, because we go over and we dominate some country who wants to dictate the shit out of their people, you know, a country that wants to dominate people based on uh, genetics and say, well, because of your genetics, this is what you're going to be. They determine at 6 years old in a lot of these countries whether these kids are going to be athletes or not based on genetics. So, Ohio's got his coffee rolling. They played hard, won the game. That's why they went there to win. Exactly. That's exactly what it is. These girls are phenomenal. They're representing the United States well, and they are. But unfortunately, we have some people who believe in this participation trophy bullshit and that they should have stopped. No, the other team should have just got better. They should train harder. They should play better. You're in a world league. You're in a world-class group of players. If you suck that bad and get blown out 13-0, there's a problem. There's a problem. North Dakota born, good to see you. I mean, I mean, I'm at a loss for words. I really am. I'm at a loss for words. Uh David Nurmi. Good to see you. Welcome to the Invasion Nation Morning Show. Forgive me, I butcher screen names. It will be my plague here on the morning show forever. So, for whiny pig helmet for whiny dumbasses. So those of you who happen to catch me on YouTube, those of you who happen to catch me on Facebook or other platforms, and you're watching these videos after the fact, you say, "Well, damn, Redneck, how come I comment on your stuff?" Here's the deal: this is a live morning show, so basically, what happens is you get on Twitch, and you get on here, you create a screen name. And you can get on here and you can comment, and I can talk to you. If you look on your screen, you'll see the shit talker rolling up here. This is live. This is what happens live every morning, 7 to 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. And I do my best to answer your questions, or I give you my honest opinion. My opinion's not always right, but you know, and I don't always sit on one side or the other. Oh, look at there. I got it right for once. Look, everybody, I got a gosh damn screen name right for once. What the Jeepers, either I'm getting smarter. No, we're not going to go that far. We are definitely not going that far. Here's the way I like to start my day now. Touring news, it is good to have you in here again, my friend. Touring, give me your perspective on the U.S. domination in women's soccer, because this has really become a big deal now. People are screaming. People are legitimately upset, saying that the United States women's soccer team should have quit scoring. That basically they should have just ran around the field. I mean, it's in sports, it's on the officials to declare a mercy rule. So would it be the officials' fault for not mercy ruling this? David Nermy, I have not had a chance to review that yet. I got home late last night. I have not had a chance to review that, so I really don't have an honest commentary for you on that. But I will definitely get into that today. No mercy in Olympic sports. Really? I have no problem with them scoring 13 goals. I've heard the criticism leveled against them was the way they celebrated the goals, not the amount that they were scored. Actually, on from what I have understood from all news sources, it was because of the goals. But I mean, unsportsmanlike conduct. Well, I mean, it is what it is. It's soccer. I mean, you got people who tear their shirts off and damn near strip naked when they score goals in soccer. Soccer is, or football as it's known across the world. There's a lot of weird stuff that happens there. So I don't know how you get unsportsmanlike in soccer because I've seen things that happen when people score goals. Um, I forgot who it was when I was a kid, but there's a soccer player that scored the winning goal and walked up and hit an official in the cup. So they watched me get this just in. Justin, thank you for the subscription. 3 months, of course, and now you have your star. So, in that round of the tournament, goal differential matters. I have no problems with ever running up the score between professional athletes. Should be classy as scoring gets higher and higher, yes, but it's not like Pee Wee football. Absolutely. Now, when I talk about participation trophies, here's the thing: in Pee Wee football, they quit keeping score and stuff like that, which I'm okay with. Okay, I mean these are little kids. I mean my nephew played Pee Wee football. Thank you, Don. I greatly appreciate that.
Making them dirt road dollars. Way out yonder, having them holler.
When it comes to like Pee Wee League stuff, that's just a matter of getting kids involved. I remember like T-ball and stuff like that. And doing that kind of stuff. That's just a matter of getting kids involved. So yeah, they don't keep score. All the kids get a trophy. But when you get into high school league stuff, high school league, you start getting into the competitive stuff. Middle school, you start getting into the competitive stuff. College level, you should be ready to hand out ass whoopings and take ass whoopings. And if somebody's cheering and going off excessively at the goal, it offends you, it should piss you off to play better. I'm just saying. At the time, I remember when I was playing football, it was the Degeneration X from WWE, and they were doing the suck it. You know what I mean? And it was like, you see that all the time. Wasn't nobody crying about it? If this is the debate about goal line cheering, oh, well, we should feel bad for whooping your ass. One of the tiebreakers is goal differential and goals scored. You wouldn't want to score as many goals as you can. Okay. I don't know a whole lot about soccer. I've always had this saying that, I mean, what is a soccer game? Was it 90 minutes long? Something like that? I think that the average soccer game is 90 minutes long, but I said, I used to tell people watching soccer is like watching my buddies trying to score at the bar. So, Ruger wife just got her first star today. Very nice. Let's see here. Participation trophies are the worst, and they are. I remember, I remember like I think we stopped getting participation awards in like third grade when I was growing up. Second or third grade, we stopped getting participation trophies, and you actually had to win. Like our school every year used to have a track and field event. It was a school event all the way through elementary school. Our elementary school was kindergarten through sixth grade, and you got a participation. I want to say it ended in second grade. I think second grade was the last year you got it. After that, third grade, you actually had to place an order to get a ribbon. So, and that's when it became competitive. And the thing was, is you were allowed to sign up, but you actually had to do this stuff. Morning, little Miss Airhorn. Good to see you. Congratulations on the fishing yesterday. Same with Ruger's son. Also, I want to point out something, and I'll get to that here in a minute. Uh, yeah. So, I mean, I could be your soccer professional. I never miss a Liverpool match. Yeah, Australia's fishing. He's hardcore into soccer. Also, I kind of wish he was in here too. As far as I'd like to get his perspective on this. So, um, there is no participation awards in New London Spicer schools. Right on. And that's the thing. Like I said, I think like we used to get participation ribbons in first and second grade. I think. Uh, I don't remember getting one in third grade. We had all sorts of stuff. Like you had the science fair. Like you actually legitimately had to win in the science fair. You had to legitimately win in uh, sports. You had to legitimately compete in writing contests. Anything that you chose to compete in, you literally had to compete. You know, and if you didn't make it, you didn't make it. You had to fight to even ride the pine, we called it, which was basically be a bench warmer, but you had to fight your way up to even ride the pine. So I guess Sarah has just got my first star. Chad, good morning, good to see you. Sarah, I don't know if I said good morning to you, but good morning. Yeah, I don't. I guess I don't understand it. I mean, you know, I guess if people don't find something to bitch about, I mean, truthfully, no matter what the perspective is, the perspective that I'd been hearing since yesterday was the fact that they scored 13 goals, and you guys are telling me it's because of unsportsmanlike conduct. Well, suck it, nerd. You're in the World Cup. If you're beating a world class team and you're getting your ass handed to you, and somebody's scoring on you, and they're continuing, yeah, I'd be celebrating the shit out of it. I'd probably be heckling the piss out of you. You know, it really would be. You know, thanks, Justin. I appreciate them 9 biddies.
Making them dirt road dollars. Way out yonder, having them holler.
I mean, that's just my opinion. Again, my opinion is the fact that you know what, you're supposed to be a world class team. Act like it. Good morning, travel buddy. Good to see you. And that's the thing. I mean, here's you know, I get very competitive in a lot of stuff. Fishing, I get very competitive. Certain things that I do, I get very competitive at it. I try to play life as a chess game, so I would not highly celebrate goals like that of thinking about the publicity and ramifications after. Internally, I'd be elated. Well, and I agree with you to a certain extent, touring, but you know, you take it being in the game, be in the game, be in the game, and understand what it is like to have that much adrenaline going. I mean, 13 goals in a game is unheard of, so your adrenaline is just going wild. You then become when you want to become this dominant force. Okay, 13 goals in a game in a soccer game, from what I understand, in and of itself is damn near unheard of. Okay, but and I mean total 13 goals total. Like I said, I'm not a soccer fan. I don't watch a lot of soccer. Actually, I don't watch any soccer. But the thing is 13 goals in and of itself, from what I understand, is unheard of. So when you're on that kind of a streak, I would be stoked. I would be going off the wall nuts. So, uh, some people are very competitive. That's good. There's a science behind why they're competitive, and those people usually are the doers in society. Yeah. Uh, well, in a lot of these other countries, a lot of these other countries, they use genetics to determine who's going to be on their team, and a lot of them, believe it or not, are actually sent here. A lot of them are actually sent here in and of the fact to train. They're brought here to professional training facilities. But when you don't let people develop and develop their athletic ability because you're in a certain country that believes that you can't be on a team, because I mean, you've got guys all the time. When you look at their genetic background, they should not be team players. Look at the United States. We have how many people in here, that come in here and they come from their. If you look at their genetics, oh, they shouldn't be a player, but they're phenomenons. They're absolute phenomenons. This is why America has some of the greatest sportsmen and sportswomen that have ever walked the earth. Just saying. Now I suppose the USA will have to pay for the other team's therapy. I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't be surprised if it goes to a main stage and they look for a way to uh, try and strip them of their win. I've seen dumber shit happen. So yeah, we did almost the same thing with Eastland yesterday for the European qualifiers 8-0. Damn. Travel, you're about due for your vacation here. Genetics don't determine driver motivation. In tech, you are 100% right. UNC, good morning. Good to see you. Ryan, good morning. Welcome. Good to see you. Yeah, and here's the thing, people. Okay, I, 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 I completely understand why people say, "Oh my God, you shouldn't rub it in their face." Okay, I can understand this in a small kids, sports league, but you're on a professional world stage. You're in a professional world stage. Take your ass whooping. Don't cry about it. Take your ass whooping, and it is what it is. I mean, a lot of us get our ass kicked in life all the time. I don't know. Ugh. I don't know, Snow Wild's in here, but I want to thank you for the Prime sub after hours. Snow Wild gave us a Prime subscription after hours, so that was absolutely phenomenal. I don't. It just is what it is. I mean, 13 goals on a world stage and smoking another team that is supposed to be at world league level. Yeah, I guess I would be extremely stoked too. Uh, Ice Cube, someone has to win, someone has to lose. If you can't stand losing, then don't play. As simple as that. Amen. Amen. Right there. That is the statement of the day. What do you mean, Ice Cube? You don't believe everybody should get a participation trophy? Don says redneck invasion. I agree with you. Jody says my Wi-Fi sucks. My Wi-Fi sucks. So desktop it is. Uh, Education, politics. Well, help more people find the channel. It's the tags that we put in on the bottom tech. Like when I go live, there's some tags that we can add to it. I know what they are. So I'll have to figure out exactly what it is, and I'll figure out how to do it before I go live. Um, Yeah, but there's a huge difference in women's soccer between countries. Only 4 to 5 playing at the same time. All others are like cannon fodder. Really? Uh, Studies have shown that if we tell a child they can do it, they will give. They can't do it, they will give up. If we support the child and cheer that child on, the child will try harder. And they will. But let's face it. Okay? Let's face it. There's some things you're just not going to be good at a competitive level. Uh, as my mom used to say, if you can't take the ass whooping, take your ball and go home. There are some things that you're just not going to be good at a competitive level. Okay? There's things that I love to do that I'm just not really good at a competitive level. Talk about video gaming. I love playing video games like Black Ops. I mean, I've held a couple of records. I've held a couple of world records, as far as the game is concerned until hackers got involved. I held a few of them during Black Ops 2, but now you put me on something like Black Ops 4 and I get my ass handed to me a lot of times. I get my ass handed to me more often than not, especially like playing blackout mode. But I'm not crying. I don't get pissed off. I keep playing it. It is what it is. But I love playing it. So I keep playing it. Oh no, I'm sorry. I'm supposed to get on my morning show and bitch about how it's unfair and how these guys are making fun of me and all that kind of stuff, right? Only USA, Germany, England, and France are on the same level. Hell no. USA, baby! I only suck at Blackout on PC, but I dare you to come challenge me on the Xbox. The computer, I absolutely suck at any game you put me on. Too many damn key controls. Too much shit to try and figure out. Hell with that. Give me an Xbox controller. It's Trump's fault, Gus says. Oh, yeah, when we played World War II, Call of Duty, all I could say is, "Dang, yeah, I'm pretty dominant in that one." World War II, I love the boots to the ground ones, the more realistic ones. I get to be pretty dominant in those. So, uh, Trump had a good speech in Iowa last night. Really, I haven't had time. See, usually on the weekends is when I start reviewing a lot of stuff. Muscle memory and practice. No, I have a keyboard deficiency. That is my problem. I have a bad keyboard deficiency. Okay, I have enough shit to remember in my day than to remember. This is why I have a one of the best tech guys in the business. You do the typing, I'll do the talking. So, uh, I will definitely. I got a couple of them I got to check out now. The problem is normally I listen to this stuff in my pickup truck, and I've got some rear end issues with the truck. I don't know what they are. I had to bring the truck in Monday. We found metal shavings in the rear end. I'm hoping it did not grenade the rear end in my truck. I got it down at Imes Garage because having to replace the entire rear end could definitely put that truck out of commission for quite a while. So now I have to use the wife's truck. Yeah. Uh, I heard that Biden promised to cure cancer if elected. I didn't know he was a fucking doctor. Yeah, so I'm waiting on the overall tally from Iams Garage. They take very very good care of me, and unfortunately parts just go bad that fast. My wife's like, I thought we just had the rear end done, and that I said no, we had axle seals done in it. The bearings checked out really good. Checked them out. We just put axle seals in it, and the e-brake pads had come apart, and yeah, and Friday when we checked it out, all was good. Monday it came back because the pinion seal was leaking pretty bad. So yeah, All right, Rich, coming in with them biddies. I appreciate you.
We're making them dirt road dollars. Way out yonder, having them holler.
And it says your cheers shared rewards to 10 others in chat. Very nice. So, yeah, Joe Biden. Here's the thing about Joe Biden. If you watch, especially now, he's had viewpoints that this guy is, what is it, the height bill, I think it's called. This guy stood the same standpoint. The height bill is basically saying no federal funding that goes to Planned Parenthood can be used towards abortions. And he was adamantly for that bill since the 70s. Supported it. And then all of a sudden he gets put on Front Street at a women's convention, and now he's against it. And then he was for it, and now he's against it. I'm not kidding you. Watch the flip-flops of Joe Biden in this last election. This guy's got more flip and flop in him than a flat iron full of flapjacks, man. I'm not even bullshitting you. This guy is flopping around like a damn crappie. Unbelievable. When your president can cure anything. When you're president, you can cure anything, can't you? Well, I mean, if you're Donald Trump, you can cure the economy, illegal immigration, politicians. That's going to be my trademark thing right there. Dang, I wish you would have watched Jon Stewart's statement in Congress hearing about 9/11 responders. He gave it to the committee, and it was very emotional. I will definitely check that out today. I don't have Bluetooth in the Suburban yet, so the biggest thing that the problem with for me is I can't hear my phone over the truck. It is a 99, so it's not like it has one of them soundproof cabs. So going down the road for 500 miles, it makes it very hard to hear things. I'll have to look and see. I'll have to figure out a way to do that. So, uh, Grope and Joe Biden. Her Biden is telling people what they want to hear. Well, of course, that's been the politicians' things for years. Donald Trump is setting the bar very high. People are going to expect things to get done. You know, it used to be. I mean, I remember. When you expected people to get stuff done, you'd listen to politicians and oh, hey, look, they're just making it sound good, but they're not going to do shit. They're just there to collect money. And Donald Trump has actually come through and done everything he said he's going to do. So, yeah. If you're Obama, you get a Nobel Prize for doing your freaking job, for freaking doing your job. Dyslexia kicking in this morning. Yeah. A lot of people really had high hopes for Obama and really just turned this country into a shit show. I don't understand how you can get a peace prize when you've caused more separation in this country than any other president since Abraham Lincoln. So, there you go. Very good point, Tech. What happens if Biden doesn't win? Does he hold a cure over everybody's head and laugh? Yeah. Uh, During the campaign, I'll do everything you asked me to. After the election, I can only do so much. And that's exactly what it's been. And Donald Trump has proven you can do everything you promised to do on your campaign trail. You can do it. There's ways to do it. Sign an executive order and make Congress fight it. Make the Supreme Court fight it. And you might find out the Supreme Court will uphold it. So now you got a 2-on-1 situation. The Stooge, the biggest problem I have is the fucking divide that, well, I can't say that word in this country, But yeah, I'll just say ass hat. Um, I never remember the country hating each other so much. And you're right, Stooge. You're 100% correct. During the Obama administration, we've seen people separate not only by race, but we've seen them separate by religion and certain beliefs within that religion. We've seen people separate based on economic value. We've seen people or on their social status. We've seen. I've never. You are 100% correct. I have never seen as much separation as I did during the Obama administration, especially the last 4 years. It was legitimately some of the worst separation I've ever seen. Touring news. I legit heard a politician say this yesterday. Uh, Eileen, at a young age, to I oh I learned at a young age to praise people in public, criticize people in private, and I've shaped my life around that. Every part of that pisses me off. I bet. I could definitely see that. And that's exactly what it is. Um, and we also seen during the Obama administration the furthering of deletion of history. We've seen uh, people see. Here's the thing: if we've seen people, whether the whole thing with slavery, when you want to look at this, yes, we can consider slavery a black eye to this country, but at the time that slavery happened in this country, it was a world norm. It was a world norm. It still goes on to this day. Slavery still happens in this world, all over the world. Uh, but it was considered the world norm. Okay, but at what point in time do we say, okay, it's time to get over it? At what point in time do we say it's time to teach our children what it was, the cause and effect that it had on this country, and teach them the truth about it instead of deleting it altogether? Because now there's stuff in Congress, there's petitions being pushed through to Congress to delete it completely out of the history books. At what point in time do we say enough is enough? Because if you delete history, you're destined to repeat it. It's been proven since the beginning of documented history. It has been proven over and over and over again. Okay? So, I mean, they say, well, taking down these monuments and getting rid of all this stuff, getting rid of all this stuff, it makes people feel better. No, it doesn't make anybody feel better. It doesn't make anybody feel better. You let a bunch of people get away with just tearing down statues and crying and whining until they got their way. So now what do? They push to see what else they can get away with. It, it legitimately pushes people to the point of, okay, let's see how much more we can get taken down. Let's see what else we can do. It's like a kid when you get away with something. You see how much further and further and further and how much more and more stuff you can get away with. It went all the way to the Black Lives Matters putting on a list of 10 things that white people should do, or a list of demands that white people should do. One of them turning over your houses to a black or brown family. You need to just walk away from your house and give it to them, which I have no problem with. You can have all the bills that come with it too. You can have all the responsibility that comes with the motherfucker too. That's not a problem. Show me that you're going to be able to maintain it. And now we've got, let's take, for instance, what is that deal they're trying to do now? They're trying to do they're trying to get money anyways for their ancestors being enslaved. But how do you determine whose ancestors really came here during slavery and whose ancestors legitimately came here after slavery? How do you determine which American citizen families were here at the time of slavery and then weren't here? How do you regulate those taxes? Because my family came here during the time of the Civil War. Uh, if anything, there's even more separation now because if you support Trump, you're seen as a racist. I get called a racist because I can't grow hair on my head, on the top of my head, so automatically I get labeled as a skinhead. So, I mean, we went through that too. I got when I attacked Black Lives Matters, when I went after them, I received death threats on pretty much an hourly basis, and every one of them said I was a racist Nazi skinhead. Redneck Invasion, YouTube deleted World War II archive history account during the Crowder thing for hate speech. Really? They've gone that far. They've gotten that far with that. Dang. I'm really hoping Minnesota turns red. Not that I really claim to be a Republican, but just because someone has to reign in these freaking Democrats. And I agree with you, Justin. I don't side on either side. I vote for whoever's best going to represent me and my family when it comes to elections. But yeah. So really, YouTube has deleted World War II archives. See, this is the thing. You could thank Vox for this, people. You could thank Vox for this because their war on Steven Crowder, Vox and their war on Steven Crowder has simply caused a shit ton. Has done nothing to Steven Crowder other than make him richer, make him more famous, bring people out of the woodwork who didn't know who Steven Crowder was to know who he is and follow him. Uh, Tim Pool made a video about it yesterday. Yeah, I'll have to go check that out. If you guys haven't checked out Tim Pool or Steven Crowder, here's the deal. This guy by the name of Carlos Manza, or Maza was his name. He calls himself the queer Latino reporter. Calls himself that. Tweets it out. You might remember Maza is the guy who put out on his, and mind you, this is a syndicated YouTube program that is funded by YouTube, is funded by MSNBC's, funded by a whole bunch of different companies. You know, and funded by a shit ton of big liberal companies. And you got somebody like Carlos Maza who calls for anybody who's, to throw a milkshake at anybody who supports Donald Trump. A call to action, a violence call to action. Okay? You can't do that. That's illegal. You cannot do that. Like when people ask me about doing a call to action, when they were talking about protesting, having me say we need to protest, I can't do that. Me being in the front of social media, I can't do that. I cannot do that. Because what happens is if something happens there, I'm liable. How is this son of a bitch not liable for all the assault that happened after that? So now their ratings are down. They're losing money. They're getting their asses handed to them. So what do? Oh, let's attack Steven Crowder because Steven Crowder is a comedian. A well-educated comedian, by the way. A very well-educated comedian. All right. And Steven Crowder made fun of Carlos because Carlos puts out pure, unadulterated bullshit on Vox. And Vox, VOX, by the way. So you guys know what I'm saying. And he goes after it. Well, on YouTube, he says he goes after YouTube for allowing Steven Crowder to post. Says it's hate speech by their guidelines, which it is not. I've heard outside analysis on this on all sides of the spectrum, from attorneys, from everybody. And basically what YouTube's deal was is they demonetized, which means YouTube was not giving Crowder any cut of anything that they advertise on his stuff. He doesn't get any money out of it. And Crowder's like, I don't give a shit. I got my mug club. I don't care. I'm going to keep putting videos on YouTube. It is what it is. So what happens when people start finding out who Carlos Maz is and he starts getting pointed out for all his bullshit and everything that he's done, YouTube says, well, we didn't see that Crowder did anything wrong. He didn't violate the terms and conditions or terms of service. So we're just going to demonetize his channel, and we're going to continue to do we're just going to continue to let him post up. Why? Because the guy's got like 3.5 million followers. He's a ginormously huge and well followed content creator. And he's adding people by the thousands weekly. He's bringing people to YouTube. What did they say? Something like between the ages of 16 and 24, an average of 94% of those people use YouTube. So YouTube is one of the largest platforms out there, outside of Google itself. So he goes after him. YouTube says, "Well, we're not going to pull him down." So then, what does Carlos Maza do? He starts going after the people in the ads. He starts attacking companies like Ford Motor Company. He starts attacking any company that is promoting YouTube. Well, this is the backfire of it. This is the backlash of it. All these little small content creators like me and a lot of the left people that supported Carlos Maza, a lot of these people had their videos taken down for hate speech. A lot of these people had their stuff taken down, so YouTube's like, all right, you're going to keep calling us out. You're going to keep criticizing us. We gave you money to start. They gave them money. And guess what? The very guy that they went after in the first place is now larger, richer, bigger. It went to the point where Steven Crowder and the Mug Club named Carlos Maza the Employee of the Month because they have never experienced so much growth at one very short period of time. Undeniable fact. Trump is the only president to promote LGBTQ rights in his campaign, messaging, and holding that promise true. Absolutely. Teachers were on the news talking about YouTube deleting World War II videos. They said they need those videos to teach kids history. And duh, because he's a liberal, no responsibility. Let's see here. Crowder can be remonetized if he removes the fig t-shirts. He doesn't care. YouTube has taken it upon themselves to remove a bunch of those videos. But because he has a shirt that says no, what does it say? Like no figs allowed or something like that, or no figs here. So, YouTube accounts for 5% of his money, and that's what I mean. That's the thing. He created the Mug Club website. He's also on Blaze TV. And I mean, Blaze is probably paying him a shit ton of money because this guy brings it nonstop all the time. Factual basis. You want to talk a well laid out deal. Steven Crowder is there. Socialism is for figs. Thank you, Redneck Tech. I knew you knew that. All right, got to hop in the shower. Want to thank Redneck and Tech Support and everyone else that stood up for single dads, stepdads, and in general towards the end of the show yesterday. I watched it last night and I broke down. Thank you all for the recognition you've given to daddies out there. Absolutely, brother. Don't drop the soap. He's not in prison, brother. If you're hacking into the morning show from Prison Ice Cube, just know this. Don't drop the soap. And I can say that from experience. J. Joe, good morning. Good to see you. Yeah. Actually, believe it or not all, like in federal prison, you have individual shower stalls, so. Ice Cube's like, no prison here, damn it. No prison here. I use powdered soap in my shower. So, all right, guys, we're coming up on our first coffee break here of the morning. But yeah, know this. Here's the deal. Vox, you're a bunch of fucking idiots. Vox was originally created to counteract the uh, counteract. It was supposed to be the counter to Fox News, and have failed epically in doing that. They're losing money. MSNBC is losing money. They're cutting off a bunch of their reporters. They're making them basically work on commission based on the stories that they report. They're cutting out all their extra budgeting for giving them money. Uh, yeah, and Vox's ratings are going all the way through the floor. People have had enough because now Vox, because of what they've done, have hurt just about every content creator out there. Vox can come after me and say, "Oh my God, he said this about Vox," and it's like, all right, I don't make any money off of YouTube, so now what? I got a job. Sorry, Vox, I got a job. I have my iced coffee. I'm good to go. Well, unfortunately, I've got coffee in a coffee pot upstairs that says I'm not good to go, and I need to reload. As you can see, we're drinking out of the big cup today. Matt Ram, good morning. Good to see you this morning. Uh, Matt Arham, fucking juicy gender, Jake. Every time I see your name now, it's the first thing comes to my name or noggin. As you can see, I definitely need more coffee. So, all right, guys, we'll be right back shortly. Stay tuned. I have my diet due. I'm good. I'm going to go up and get some coffee. We're going to check for squirrels. By the way, kudos to my dog, Al. Those of you who've seen my little dog. Al yesterday treed 2 squirrels. I killed one. One thought it would be smart and hide out underneath my deck. And as soon as he took off, Al treed him too. And then he jumped out of the tree, and my dog attacked his ass, slowed him down so I could shoot him. So, kudos to my dog, Al. He's on squirrel hunting duty. He's on point. He's earning his keep around here. So, yeah. Anyways, we'll be right back, everybody. What is up, everybody? I'm sorry that took so long. I had a very, very important phone call come in the middle of that. Oh, so, what is shaking? What are we? What's broken? What are we talking about here? Uh, you to make a music video. Muskie Fisher, good morning. Good to see you. Uh, let's see here. I can't rap. Let's see here. What did you do to my Facebook? I never called you. Ruger son, good morning. I got a couple of what did this ass hat do to my Facebook? Now I'm curious. I'm very curious. Let's see here.
Baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark.
What did he do? Oh man, my cover photo. I love. Is that what you're talking about? The new cover photo? Oh my god, what is wrong with you? Really? This is what you're doing to me. This is what you're doing to me. You know, I'm a well-respected member of the. Just in case y'all can't see this, I'll show you right now. This is what my tech guy does to me. This is what we're doing. This is what we have come to nowadays. This is it. That is some dumb shit. That is some why? I'm not making it full screen. Piss off. Why? Morning, Transy. I'm going to see you. This is. I'm losing all. People just aren't respecting me anymore. That's what it is. This is just what it is. My new cover photo. The turd in the background. Yeah. At least I got one positive out of the deal. No, I'm not full screening it. And you're mobile, so you can't do anything about it. Ha! Ha! Oh. Yeah, this is. I have a favor. Hello. What do you mean you have a favor? I need to buy Tech a beer. This is what I mean. I've got a whole conspiracy. I think this is. We should just call this conspiring against Redneck. Now that we're $20 in on the waxing bullshit. So. I'm not rapping. Who told you I could rap? No. Absolutely not. That's insane. No. Call me a party pooper. Call me what you want. Uh, yeah. So, moving on. My morning has become, uh, come on, just do it. Yeah, whatever. You're a wuss. You're right, I'm a wuss. Boss lady, good morning. Good to see you. So, have you guys heard about the former mayor of Kirkhoven? You know, the guy, I don't know if any of y'all been through Kirkhoven, Minnesota, and seen that dumbass, I don't know, whatever it is built in the front right on Highway 12. Uh, I'm not making, I don't know who the hell told you all I could rap, but you're fucking nuts. Uh, Angel, good morning. Good to see you. Uh, yeah. Uh, the here's the thing: the former mayor of Kirkhoven, who had filed uh, bankruptcy, they're now going after his attorney. You remember? I don't know if you guys remember when it made the news, but he built this ridiculous structure right on Highway 12. Nobody understands what it is for, what it is supposed to represent. But anyways, built this thing, and now is Um, his attorney is uh, his attorney is actually in the process of they're petitioning him that he be disciplined because of the fact that he helped the former mayor hire or hide over $750,000 in assets. So by trading him into gold coin. So yeah, got my bankruptcy discharge notice yesterday. I damn near cried. I've never filed bankruptcy, so I don't know a whole lot about it. Um, I know who said it, but I'm not saying anything. Yeah. Yeah. So here's the deal. I'm pretty sure that it's not going to go anywhere, and the reason I say this, the reason I say that it is probably not going to go anywhere, is simply because of the fact that the the attorney-client privilege deal comes into play there. He is not mandated to report that, nor can he report that, uh, because of the fact that that's not his job. He has privileges. Criminals do it all the time. If they open this case up, it'll probably end up going to the Supreme Court. But in I'm hoping that, unfortunately, it is what it is. That's how the system works. Do I agree with it? Absolutely not. But at the same point in time, I do believe in attorney client privilege. And unfortunately, because of that attorney client privilege, just like doctor client privileges, um, there are certain things they just cannot say. There are just certain things you cannot say. But yeah. Uh, he signed a check, so he's in trouble. Yeah, I don't know exactly how it works. I don't know exactly how it is going to work or exactly the full ramifications. They just said he knew about $100,000 in gold, close to $750,000 in assets. So it's going to be quite interesting in how that works. Let's see here. There was something else I was going to bring up to you guys, and I forgot what it was actually. I actually went through trying to keep some notes this morning, but I've epically failed because somehow or another I deleted them off my phone. Oh. Yeah, that was smart of me, wasn't it? They said he didn't own coins. According to the petition being filed, at the time of his bankruptcy, he had $100,000 in coins, and prior to that, he'd bought $750,000 in coins. So, uh, my tech is as a redneck boom chicka boom. Yeah, I don't know exactly the whole deal of it, but I just know that you can never forget Kirk Hovind once you've gone through it. Uh, anyways, uh, there's some other stuff going on. I forgot I haven't given a shout out to my sponsors at all today. Uh, there's my rap. Isn't there enough rappers out there? Country rappers. I mean, they're all over YouTube. There's a shit ton of them, and I mean, most of them are one hit wonders or whatever. I mean, I'm not trying to be an Adam Calhoun or anything like that, so I'm good with all that. Uh oh, but there's also yeah. So I give a shout out to my sponsors: Mill Pond Salon, Scenic Downtown New London, Romaine Berg, and also I would definitely like to give a shout out to KJ's Quick Stop and Iams Garage. So, all that being said, oh yeah, the redneckinvasion.org store. Which, by the way, guys, we are almost out of the limited edition banner stickers. So get those as you can. Also, check out your, you got your pink T-shirt, your pink helmet shirts. Get those, and then the Redneck Invasion emoji. So make sure you guys check that stuff out. Get you some of that as well as some of the other gear on the redneckinvasion.org store. Krippner, thank you very much.
Making them dirt road dollars. Way out yonder, having them holler.
So, also I am going to be. Well, first I got to see how much my truck is going to cost to get fixed. Good night. That bill's got me a little. Okay. This had a $2,000 fuel bill for last month. Not to mention the fact that when you tear the sides off the check and then the top and the perforated edges, I wonder why each side says step 1, top says step 2. You tear the sides off at the same time, so it should be step 1, 2, and then 3. I just noticed that. Of all the things to take the time to type out. Oh, yeah. So as I'm going on the road yesterday, and there's this constant talk All right, Don. Thank you very much.
We're making them dirt road dollars. Way out yonder, having them holler.
As I'm going down the road yesterday, I'm realizing the fact that that there's a lot of dead deer on the road already. There's a lot of, and it hasn't quit. Um, and they're having their own conversation. I bet. Uh, they're having their own conversation or There's a lot of dead deer on the road. Now, this has been a controversy in Minnesota over the last few years. They're saying, "Oh, the deer population is down." I can tell you, this last year, in the last 12 months alone, I've never seen so much roadkill on the road. Insurance companies are writing out more checks for people hitting deer. All right, I hit 9 last year. 9 deer. 9. And seen 4 more yesterday. I don't know. It's been an issue of debate. And then here's the other thing. Lolly and I were talking about this last weekend. Like, you go to Green Lake in Spicer, Minnesota, and they have this little station where you got to bring your boat to wash it in order uh to go from lake to lake. Okay, which I understand. It washes it off. It controls zebra mussels. But why are they not spraying off the back of your vehicle? I mean, I don't know too many boat landings that you can get into with your truck and not get the ass into your vehicle in it. So this is one of these things. I mean, the DNR has great intentions, but just really poor follow through. This is why I don't gamble. uh, I understand the whole purpose of the station, which is great. Which is one, they spray off your boat and you basically get a free boat wash, and then you talk about the back end of the vehicle, like you take like the Suburban or my truck. I mean, it's submerged all the way up to where the rear bumper is touching the water. Why are they not spraying off the back of the vehicles, or does that not contribute? Uh, Here this summer, at most boat landings and most of the popular lakes in this area, you will have a volunteer or somebody from college who is home on leave sitting at every boat landing, registering your boat that it was in this lake, and they're going to ask, "Can we look through your boat?" And the answer is going to be no. And when you say that to them, they look at you with this dumbfounded look. "You have to have a search warrant to search my boat. What are you looking for?" And it's not to be an asshole. It's the fact that you're overregulating things without doing everything properly. You're worried about me taking this water and going to a different lake. Well, that's fine. That's great. I understand that. But I'm not draining my live well until I get close to the other lake, simply because of the fact that I'm trying to keep these fish alive. And what does it matter? They're in my live well. I think zebra mussels die quickly unless kept in water. It can't get all those things off. I don't know. Uh, it's really just slowing it. I don't know that it's slowing it down, because here's the thing. Okay, this program only runs for a couple of months. Like, they just started running the boat washing station here, and it's based on college kids being able to get out of school and take on a job, like an apprentice job or whatever with the DNR. Uh, it's not to mention, it doesn't run every single day. All right, Clint, we'll catch you on the flip side. So the thing is the thing is this, okay? Uh, what I don't understand is you have this program. Let's talk about. Let's go as far back as the Eurasian milfoil. You guys remember when that epidemic was huge? Now you have signs at every boat landing that you go to. Okay, so their answer was is let's put a fertilizer in the lake, and basically that's what it is. But it's a fertilizer on steroids that causes uh, the weeds to grow at an extremely fast rate. I mean, instead of millions spreading, just thousands do, for example, which won't really matter. Right. Uh, we still have them. Here's the thing: if you take Eurasian milfoil, do you know that the citizens who lived on the lakes better maintained it than the DNR is doing now with their current control program? You take, for instance, like uh, our family had uh, camping property on lakes. You know, like they would rent campgrounds and things like that. And one of the things that people would do is they would go out to the lake and they would drag the entire lake shore. Now, that's not, it's just around their property. All right, Matt. Good deal. So, one of the things that I, they said, well, you're ruining the natural habitat. But here's the thing: homeowners only maintain the stuff in front of their property. Yes, you would have lake shores that all the way around it were, for the most part, but there's also certain areas where there's not, on every lake, there's certain areas where there's no homes built. And that's the thing, honestly, Chemicat, a lot of these people never use chemicals. It was simple. You took a piece of pipe, of galvanized pipe or stainless pipe, and you had a piece of pipe that had three strands of barbed wire looped through it that were bunged together. And the way it worked is you had a rope tied on one end of it, on one end that you would drag out with the boat all the way to the drop off, because weeds I don't think can grow in anything under or anything over 16 or 18 feet of water. Okay, so they would drag it all the way out. Okay, and this is an old school method. You used to be able to buy these things from the store. They would drag it out with the boat, and then you'd have somebody on shore pulling it in, whether they did it with a pickup truck or they did it by hand or they did it with a four-wheeler or a lawn tractor, whatever the case may be. So you had this constant thing, and it would go down their shoreline. You know, and by doing that, we had less of a problem, a much lesser problem with undergrowth in the lakes. And then you had certain areas of the lakes where they were not, that people didn't own, so they didn't touch those areas. So they didn't touch them at all. Some lakes have gone as far as petitioning the DNR to get a weed management system, but they only let them go out like, what is it, 20 feet in front of their docks or something like that. And then it's on a rotating deal. I'll show you guys one time when I go out stream. When we go out to Lake Dunya again, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. But they have to be registered by the state in order to use them. And they don't clean out a lot. I mean, they clean out your basic area right there. Well, green started to get crazy bad, and that's the thing. And now the thing is let's say you have an area that's completely overgrown. Say you have a piece of lakeshore property that's completely overgrown by cattails. Uh, I got a friend of mine out on Waverly Lake that when they bought their lakeshore 30 plus years ago, that they had nothing on their lakefront as far as they had nothing on their lakefront as far as growth or anything like that. One clump of cattails came in, and now their entire area is overgrown by cattails. There's a DNR official who lives right on the lake, whose responsibility is to monitor that lake. Uh, they said, "What can we do about this?" Well, nothing. You're going to ruin the habitat. The thing is cattails are good, but when they're growing in so thick that nothing else can go in there, when they say, oh, it's for waterfowl or for waterfowl that come in, which is birds, It's like, all right, well, so let's take away from the fish to give to the birds. Eventually, they ended up petitioning the state, getting their way. Um, but you have to, what is it? I think it's $1,000 fine per cattail they can get you for. I forgot how much they can get you for lily pads. Yeah, and you can get ticketed for taking out invasive species out of the lake, as they call it. You can actually get fined for doing that for not having the DNR's permission. All the meanwhile paying higher taxes to do that. So it's become a huge problem, in my opinion, here in these lakes. You see tons and tons of lakeshore property going up for sale, and people buy it until they realize all the politics that come with owning lakeshore property. Uh, did you hear what happened to 30's goats and Pumbaa? No, I did not have a chance to check out 30's stream yesterday at all. What happened? Timmy. Plus the price of sale. Yeah. Uh, Starry Stonewort. I guess I'm not familiar with that. Uh, got called to work. I guess no day off this week. Have a great day. Be safe out there today. Thank you. Um, the whole thing is this. The DNR has very, very good intentions for wildlife management. I believe that wholeheartedly. Uh, uh, yeah, and but I think their follow through on a lot of these programs, especially in my area, because we have like chain lakes all over the place that are either connected by underground waterways or connected through channels. Um, I think they had very good intentions, but did not have it followed all the way through and how to do it. Why? What happened? Cousin's dog attacked two goats, and Pumbaa had and Pumbaa he had to end up putting down one goat, and the other one is getting stitched up. Pumbaa is fine. Oh, good night. Wow. That is insane. I'll have to make it a point to pull over and get on a stream and oh wow, yeah, that's vicious because you know uh good morning, Jerry, good to see you. Wow, that's crazy. Swanee, Pumbaa is on 30 says a stream. Pumbaa is the internationally known potbelly pig. Pumbaa is just kind of a no fucks given, free range pig, does whatever he wants. Apparently, his dog has attacked humans before. Damn. I hope they shot the dog. Yeah, that's definitely a no go there. If I got a dog that's attacking livestock, yeah, that's a definite gonna die. So yeah, that's it. Especially if it attacks humans. If it just goes off the cuff and starts attacking shit. I mean, they're all animals to me, but it's like this. If anybody who knows 30, anybody who knows 30 knows his animals, his free range animals are like his kids. He takes very good care of them. They roam around. They're all free range, and that's the thing, And his animals eat like he does. I mean, he takes very very good care of them, and to have somebody else's animal come on the farm and attack them like that, especially one that has been known to attack humans, Definitely not copacetic. So I would not blame 31 bit for putting that dog down. So, it's one thing if you've got a vicious guard dog and you've got, like I know lots of people who've got guard dogs that are not allowed to have contact with people that are allowed to roam large chunks of fenced in property. So he lost followers when he said he had one in the chamber for the dog. It is what it is. That's just the truth about farming life. And if you can't handle the real the this is the thing what people don't understand is 30 is a survivalist. Uh, and he you understand that some things it's like this. When state agencies have to go out and shoot a bear, no matter how rare it is, because they will try to trap it first. They take the bear, they take it out of the area, and the bear wanders back and it continues to do damage, attack people, hurt people. What do? They end up having to put the bear down because it becomes a serious liability to people and to other livestock. One of the biggest issues in Sandstone, Minnesota area years ago is because of the very rare protected timber wolf was coming in up there and it was attacking livestock. And a farmer was brought to court because of the fact that he couldn't see what he was shooting at, but all he seen was something viciously attacking one of his cows. So when it attacked the cow, all he first reaction to any farmer, I will tell you, growing up farming, that was the first reaction is you shoot. So this guy shot a timber wolf. And because all these animal protection agencies came after him, they wanted him to go to prison, this or that. He said, "What do you want me to do? This is my livestock. Am I supposed to give over my livestock for the sake of this animal? Because that's how I make my living." At what point in time do we have to say, okay, a human life is more precious than an animal life? And basically what had happened was they said, well, you should have called the DNR. You have to pay for the wolf. And really just slapped the guy on the wrist. But at the same point in time, he said, well, that's fine. And his attorneys turned around and sued the DNR to give him the money for his cow, which was worth a hell of a lot more than the wolf. So he paid his, and then basically the DNR, he had to take the DNR back to court to get paid for the animals that this wolf had killed. Because what he had done, the one thing he had done is he had the animal carcasses. I had him come out and had a forensic examination done on him. I don't know if you guys remember this shit. This was 20 years ago that this happened, but it was a very vicious battle. Oh, so our prayers go out to 30 and his family. I know his kids are probably extremely traumatized by this. That's not a regular occurrence out there. So uh, uh, yeah, we'll have to get on there onto 30 stream today and give our condolences. Oh, that is insane. So yeah, um, my biggest issue with the DNR is this, and this has been my long time battle, is they get a shit ton of money. You've got people buying specialized license plates. You've got fishing licenses, boat license, fish house registration, all the stuff that's going out there, and all this money goes to the DNR. And with all that being done and being said, what are they really doing? What are they really doing? Because I hit a deer with my truck and my insurance company has to cover it, but then they tell me that you can't get a harvest permit for deer. Uh, oh, they got the pool filled last night? Nice. Damn, I missed a lot on there. Oh, Damn. Terry, what happened with 30 was his cousin's dog was out there, attacked the goats and Pumbaa. From what I understand, one goat was put down. 30 usually tunes in here about the last hour. Maybe he won't today with everything that's happened. He probably had a pretty late night last night, so we'll see what happens. Uh, yeah, it definitely had to be hard to explain. 30's family around here. By all means, 30 is family, just like Ohio, and Fox Outdoors. So, dog attacking goat or pig is one thing, though, didn't know what animals do to each other. However, it was a history of attacking humans too. That's a problem. Absolutely, it is. And you're right. I mean, it's one thing. It's like this. If you have an animal that it's like I had a dog one time that I didn't know had a thing for chickens. So I brought it out to a friend of mine's farm, and this dog started going after chickens. And it was just a little wiener dog. It couldn't catch the damn chickens, but it tried. And I grabbed a hold of him and I tied him up to the car and made sure that that wasn't an issue anymore. I didn't know. Didn't get any chickens, didn't kill any, but it is what it is. It's like, had that dog actually killed this farmer's chickens, I would have put the dog down. Plain and simple. Had they given me mercy, yeah, the dog would just, stay alive. I mean, here's the thing. To me, I don't get emotionally attached to animals. So it's like, if that's what it takes to make the situation right, unfortunately, that is what it is. Ron Fisher of Sticks and Grass, uh, Bader of Livers and Mealworms, assembler of engines and IKEA products, and lover of women. Amish Tech, owner of Beards and driving Miss Daisy. Oh, you on one today, ain't you, Tom? You on one today? Oh man. I don't care how much someone would beg, that dog would get buried since I had to bury my pet. And like I said, here's the thing: if you didn't know, if it had the cousin brought it out there and didn't know that this dog had prior history of attacking humans, why, one, 30's got kids. Why would you even take the chance of bringing that kind of an animal out there? I don't know the whole situation, but I'm just simply reacting to what I'm told. That's the thing. It would, you know, I'm so happy because I read about the Alabama law. Oh, you mean the liquid castration? Yeah. I think you're going to see that happen a lot, actually. I think that might actually take hold. It's been being called for a long time. You have a lot of liberal states that probably won't go for it. Oh, that's just mean. How does it mean? Well, what do we got going on here? Hello?
I'm calling to let you know that we have been granted a limited health enrollment period for a few weeks, so you and your family can get a great insurance plan at the price you can afford. And we make it hassle-free to sign up. We have pre-approvals ready in your area, including Cigna, Blue Cross, Aetna, United, and many more. Press pound to get a hassle-free assessment, or press star if you're not interested. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for holding. This is Michael. Were you looking for an individual or family plan today?
Family plan. Oh, hung up on me. What the fuck? No stamina. No stamina, I'm telling you. None. None. I mean, he just hung up. He just hung up. He just asked me if I was looking to enroll in a single or a family plan. And I said, family plan. And he hung up. Where's the fun in that? See what I mean? Well, I'm telling you, it must be a bunch of liberal trolls working at these telemarketing places now because they have absolutely no stamina whatsoever. And my little mouth thing here is doing whatever it wants today. So, oh, yeah. But I don't know. As far as the DNR process goes, as far as that whole thing goes, I think there really needs to be some reevaluation of the things that they're doing. When you go to try and call them back, Janine, they I don't know what it is. The whatever the issue the DNR is having. I mean, understand that no program is perfect, but the problem is when you keep adding more and more and more regulations, it's like this. They tell me as a property owner, because my property is overrun with cattails, there's actually no water and it just has cattails and moist bottom ground, that is wildlife habitat and I'm not allowed to touch it. The permits that you have to go through to get that out of there, or the ability to dredge it or do any of that stuff, I don't think they should have that right. My property is my property, and I don't think you should tell me how to manage it. You're not willing to come out and manage it. You're willing to let it spread and let it do whatever it wants. I don't think that is right. I think that it's time that lawmakers start putting the smack down on some of this bullshit. This is getting ridiculous because cattails pollinate through the air, and all of a sudden, because I get a random group of cattails on my property, I can't touch them because there was no habitat there before. So, the sad fact about today's laws is if you shoot your own dog and the right person finds out, you can be charged with animal cruelty, because the legal system has to get involved in everything they don't need to be involved in. Government needs to stay away from things that are done right, but not cost large amounts to do the same thing. Absolutely, Jerry. I 100% agree with you on that. All right, guys, we are up on our second coffee break, and we will. He's slamming Ohio with his right wing over there. Anyways, yeah. We will definitely be back here. I promise you this coffee break will be much shorter.
Some call me a sinner for the things I've done. Born with a heart of stone, fast with a gun. I'm here to get mine, then I'll leave this town. If you're standing in my way, I'll cut you down. You can't tame.
Welcome back to the Invasion Nation Morning Show, brought to you by yours truly, Redneck Invasion. Oh, yeah, good morning. Also brought to you in part by Mill Pond Salon, Romaine Berg, and KJ's Quick Stop and Iams Garage. So, 24 Clips, welcome to the show. Good to see you. We do need to be careful about environment, but DNR is flowering in lots of ways. Absolutely. You know, the scratch my neck here. The issue then becomes with the DNR, and just to sum this up, I think that they are a lot. I think they're more worried about getting new vehicles and selling them for next to nothing uh, than they are anything else. But that's my opinion. Um, one of the things about the DNR that I will say is this: is that uh, they should be more concerned about poaching. They should be more concerned about regulation. Let the people who live on the lakes take care of them. Who better to take care of a piece of property than somebody who lives on it? Somebody who cares about it, cares about their property value. That's my opinion. So, yeah. As you guys know, the challenge is still, of course, always up for the Redneck Invasion giveaway. I thought this would be a lot more popular than it was, but apparently it hasn't been. So, uh, it is what it is. I'm not going to push it really hard because we have some guys that are out front quite a bit. So, anyways, brain fart here. Also, there's been some talk about I get told on a regular basis that my interpretation of social media is wrong. That they are privatized companies and they can do whatever they want. And I was under that belief for a long time, and I was actually corrected uh, by Steven Crowder of all people. Pointed out some stuff, and then I went to check out the one thing I like about Steven Crowder and Ben Shapiro. When you look at the videos that they make, there's a ton of they put a whole list of sources that they got their information from. I did not realize the fact that, because one, I was in prison when all this happened, that these social media providers went in front of Congress, stating that they were going to be, and stated in front of Congress, and this is why they have the laws passed that they have, that they can do what they want as opposed to being held accountable for the things that people do. They went in front of Congress and they posted, said that we just want to be a neutral platform. Well, as you guys know, that they have not, Facebook, look what it does to me. YouTube, look at what they're doing. Twitter, look what they're doing. Look at all these things, all these places that have proven not to be neutral platforms. You have the left, you have the extreme left attacking anybody who doesn't agree with them. They're attacking anybody who supports them. I mean, even to the call of violence in a lot of cases. Hashtag Carlos Maza. And the thing is you have mass reporting going on, mass flagging campaigns, mass reporting campaigns, and people like Carlos Maza put this on. And this is absolutely wrong. One thing that really bothers me about all this stuff, Chris, good morning, good to see you. One of the things that really bothers me about this whole thing is the fact that when you see this stuff and you continue to watch this stuff, um, you realize the fact that you could be under attack at any time. And for what? Good morning. Good to see you. One of the, you say why? I'm not allowed to have my opinion like you're allowed to have yours because you don't agree with my opinion. I don't care. Make a video of me. Make fun of me. Whatever. I'll come right back at you. I mean, sometimes I think I should just pick a fight with Ryan Upchurch just because it would be fun to go back and forth with him. I mean, really, it would just be fun to go back and forth with that guy because he's got the stamina to do it. But I don't want to be on the bandwagon that everybody's on right now. Let's use, Ryan Upchurch for clickbait. I don't want to do that. I just want to make fun of him because I know he'd make fun of me back and it'd be a fun banter back and forth, But Ryan, if you're listening to the Invasion Nation Morning Show, give me a call. Let's do something. I won't even use your name for clickbait. I promise. But the whole thing is it would just be fun. Maybe even somebody like Adam Calhoun. I mean, some of these people that go back and forth. I would like to go maybe even back and forth with Steven Crowder. I'll play the liberal. I don't know. It would be fun to do that, but at the same point in time, I mean, it would not be a direct attack on them or their platform or what they stand for. It seriously wouldn't. And maybe I need to make a video on teaching trolls how to troll. They got the clickbait part right, but if you've ever seen the videos, it gets absolutely ridiculous. Upchurch only does shit if he is getting paid, even meeting his fans and signing autographs. I don't know. I've never met the guy in person. I used to talk to him via Snapchat once in a while. And then he got really big and his Snapchat blew all the way up. And yeah. So, I don't know a whole lot, outside of his videos. I don't know a whole lot. Same with Adam Calhoun. I used to talk to Adam Calhoun on a pretty regular basis. And then Titty Tuesday took off on Snapchat for him. And basically his Snapchat went to a whole nother level. My friend Six Gun opened for him 3 times. Hosier too. Yeah, I've got no respect for Hosier. That guy is a pirate in the industry. He likes to work with up and coming artists so that way he can take alright, Bubba. You keep it between the ditches, brother. We'll holler at you later. He is well known in the business to come after all royalty rights for anything that hits big. Or for anything, period. And because people are like, oh my God, he's made it. He's been with these people. And it's kind of it's like Lou Pearlman syndrome when it comes to him. I mean, you take Lou Pearlman. Lou Pearlman founded the Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, and I mean, literally beat the tar out of these guys, working them. If you want to get up church in chat, you got to pay up. It's sad but true. I mean, the man's time's worth money nowadays. I can't really say that I blame him in that retrospect, because it's like, it's not like he's one of these rock star singers where he's making multi-millions every concert. I mean, the guy, I don't even think he's pushing the $1 million a year mark, if I remember correctly. I don't think he's pushing that. I do know that he's very financially, he budgets his money quite well, makes good investments, likes to invest in his community a lot. So yeah, Backstreet Boys and NSYNC sued Lou. They got money back, but not as much as they made. Well, actually, they didn't really get anything back because Lou Pearlman didn't have any money left. Lou Pearlman I was actually in prison with Lou Pearlman before he died. I was at Atlanta USP, which was actually, at that time was medium, but I was on diesel therapy. And, I here's the thing. Me, I normally mind my business, but Lou Pearlman's cell was right next to mine. And usually what you do is you get up on and you talk through the vents and stuff like that. And Uh, I didn't understand why everybody was running to this guy's door. Now, understand, I was not anywhere near a fan of anybody like Backstreet Boys or NSYNC. I had no idea who the fuck a Lou Pearlman was. The only Lou Pearlman I knew was Lou Pearlman, the actor. So, but, anyways, so I finally walk up to his door and I say, "Why is everybody crowding your door all the time, man? Why is it every time they let people out?" He says, "Well, I'm Lou Pearlman." I said, "Okay." He says, "Well, I used to represent people like the Backstreet Boys." And, "Oh, okay. Uh, you can't spend 10 seconds to shake a fit's hand." Yeah, and God, I hope I never end up being one of them kind of people. I'd like to be big, famous, whatever, but I never want to be the type of person who shuns off my fans. I understand that there's schedules to keep. All right, Tech, good luck in your meeting today, brother. Uh, if you're the praying type, be praying for the Tech. He's got a big meeting ahead of him. Uh, he's gonna need it. He's gonna need all that prayer warrior support. So, uh, yeah. So the thing with Lou Pearlman and what he did is he was single handedly responsible for the boy band era. He was single handedly responsible for that. The problem is he screwed over everybody in his path to do it. The money that he used to fund these operations was retirement money taken from retirees and people. Uh, you're big and
You're
famous
big
with
and
us.
famous with us.
Thanks, Swanee.
Making them dirt road dollars. Way out yonder, having them holler.
The money that he used, and you're talking a guy who was actually really smart, was not unintelligent, was really smart in aviation. But instead of knowing his role, he was known for basically handling like first class flights. Well, then he went out and started his own aero company. Now, after I found out who he was, I had to do some research. I had to find out who he was. So when I found out everything that he'd done, when I heard the entire story, I'm like, wow, what a piece of shit. I mean, literally a piece of shit. You want to credit the guy who was starting the boy band era. That's great, but at the same point in time, you want to talk about a guy who literally screwed over millions or screwed over thousands of retirees, screwed thousands of people out of their retirement because they believed in this airline company that didn't exist. Everybody wants to, say the good with, the good and the bad. Well, the bad part is those boy bands exist off the backs of retirees. And what are those boy bands doing to get back to those people who lost all that money? Yeah, okay, they lost money, but they have the potential to make that money back. And what have they done to help them people out? So I have no sympathy for them. None. You could say, well, that's not their issue, but it is, because their entire career was funded off the backs of those people who lost their retirements investing in another one of Lou Pearlman's scams. My opinion. Take it how you want. Um, and I'd probably be criticized. Well, that's not how business. Well, that's the thing. You want to sit here and say that you're about the people and you want to be, you know, one thing I will say this is it's been well noted all over YouTube and social media, not by Upchurch, but by people of his community. This guy spends a shit ton of his money in his community and building things and community activities and community parks and things like that. He may be an asshole, but he's still investing in his community and reinvesting in the places that helped make him who he was. The fairgrounds, the little auditoriums and shit like that. He does that. Is what it is. And the other thing that I will give Upchurch credit for is he's self-made. He's self-made. Did his learned how to do his own production. Prince did that too. What did Prince do? Self-made? Or invested in his community? Yeah, Prince put together a lot of community programs, invested in a lot of them. He was pretty adamant about that. When they shot the Purple Rain movie, it had to be here in Minnesota. And it had to be Minnesota actors, and it had to be a lot of people involved in that. In that movie, he really, he went to town in doing that. So, uh, yeah, I don't know. Personalities and things like that. A lot of people have the issue with famous people's personalities, and some of them are absolutely ridiculous. Um, when you work at a place where they've got somebody famous coming in and you hear all the shit that's got to be catered in just to appease them. I had a buddy of mine who was a roadie at, I think it was the MGM Grand in uh, Las Vegas. Very well known for their shows, their high end talents. Things are, was it the MGM? I think it was the MGM. I'll have to ask him again. But anyways, we'll just say a casino in Las Vegas. He was a roadie. Basically, his job was when big acts came in, his job was to go get their equipment, set it up, and do that kind of stuff. And one of the people that he said that he hated because the hotel booked her on a regular is, he said, Celine Dion. He said she was the most stuck-up, arrogant person he'd ever met in his life. Like the things that had to be in her dressing room, he said, were just unrealistic. Like it had to be, I think it was white M&Ms. She never touched them. They just had to be in the room. Every single one of them had to be in the rooms. You weren't allowed to look at her while she was walking out to the stage. And there's just a lot of weirdo requests. And it's like, at what point in time, it's like, really? At what point in time do you tell these famous people, piss off? And then you expose them for that dumb shit. Whatever happened to the good old-fashioned days of, hair bands? We just want hookers and blow in the room. That's it. Hookers and blow. Bring it all. That's it. So, I mean, there's lots of people. I mean, Uncle Ted. I love Uncle Ted. But Uncle Ted has to have a special kind of water imported from some weirdo place. That's what he's got to have. And there's lots of people like that. All these famous people, it's like, do you not remember when you were dirt floor poor and this shit didn't matter? Like me, the tech and I were talking about Voss water. My wife has turned me into a water snob. But now Voss water has gotten rid of their plastic or gotten rid of their glass containers and went to plastic, and it tastes like shit. And that's my opinion. Some people are like, it doesn't taste any difference, but I will tell you hands down that the taste difference between glass, plastic, and aluminum are huge. Every single time. Yeah, they were happy. Exactly. They were just happy to get the gig. That's exactly what it was. What happened to those days when you were just happy to be booked? And now it's like, oh, you should be lucky that I picked you. It's like, Celine Dion, your career pretty much died after the Titanic. What makes you think that somebody wants to sit through and go get you special white M&Ms? And I think there's only one place in the United States you can go get them, some M&M store, I think in New York or something like that, where you have to go get them. So if they have them shipped in just for her in a climate-controlled deal. Now, granted, there's some couriers and some transport guys that are making some serious money off of that, which is okay, which is fine. But it's like, I've met some musicians, king, nicest, goofiest guys ever. And there's lots of them. Like, you hang out with, like, the Moonshine Bandits, those guys are hilarious. They need a little bit of time to wind down after the show. They walk off stage, they go wind down, and they just need to relax a little bit. Because it's a lot of work being up there. That's a lot of energy you're putting out. But you know what they do? They come right back to the bar and they start hammering shots with everybody. Well, your experience with Warrant is a lot different than my experience with Warrant. Just saying. Uh, but yeah, I'm a shoe snob. K-Swiss is my shoe. Uh, I'm not really a shoe snob, but my wife has gone on a mission to buy me better shoes. So, and I actually, it's all about attention and self-centeredness. I mean, some of these guys are absolutely phenomenal. Big Smo became an asshole. Used to hang out with everybody. Hang out after the shows. I got pictures with him. Used to hang out with everybody. Good dude. Talk to you, hang out with you, make you feel like his best friend. And then all of a sudden, once his TV show came out, became a pure, unadulterated asshole. And now his TV show's gone, and it's like he's putting on new albums, and I don't even listen to him. Uh, yeah, if it wasn't for fans, and that's the thing, it's now you look at them. You take a band like Warrant. What are they doing? They're not really doing any mainstream. Let's take Motley Crue. Motley Crue and Godsmack tour together as co-headliners. Motley Crue still had it in their head that they were the big stars of the show. And what happens? What happens? They start trying to tell Godsmack, who is bigger than Motley Crue has ever been, okay? They start telling Godsmack and how to do it, and that they need to respect Motley Crue, and Godsmack answers back with a song like "You Will Cry Like a Bitch." I mean that's really what it. I mean seriously, you're gonna tell? Maybe you should take some lessons from these guys on how to stay relevant for 20 freaking years. And stay relevant, still coming out with songs, and still having your songs promoted by major sports venues and things like that. I don't know. Maybe Sully's got a really, really good idea. Maybe you should ask him for help instead of being an arrogant piece of shit. They make Crocs with built-in socks now, just saying. Are you buying a pair? I met some great acts when I worked at Jackpot. Most were awesome. Three Dog Night was absolutely the biggest assholes I've ever met, and I've heard that. I had an uncle that roadied for them for about a year, and he said that's exactly what they were. People are not what they do or accomplish. People are who they are at the core, treating others and how they live in the world. Right. And here's the thing. I mean, for the most part, like when I go to big events like the street dance, I mean, I'm literally getting pulled all over the place. People want to talk to me, and I'm not big and famous by any means. At least I don't consider myself. I mean, big and famous means you usually are making a shit ton of money, and I'm not doing that. So, but I try to make it a point to at least talk to everybody. And it's really hard because you're talking to this person, you're talking to this person. I can't do Crocs. I don't swing that way. Why? If you wore them when you were driving your truck, you'd probably greatly appreciate them. They're actually kind of nice. Being the fact that most nurses wear them, and yeah, I fought the Croc thing for a very long time until I found out from my chiropractor and everybody else actually how really good they are for your back. I quit fighting it, and my back has thanked me ever since. So, I did security entertainment for several years, lots of bands, awesome, but some were real dicks. And that's the thing, you're gonna have the good with the bad. I drive in my socks. I drive barefooted. That's what I do when I'm driving with my Crocs. I just slide my Crocs off, drive barefooted. Well, my sister-in-law is one of the big fancy high-end nurses. I guess basically one step under a doctor. The only thing she can't actually do is write prescriptions, I guess. I don't know. But she's been in all different types of nursing. And she's one of the people whose word I came to trust. And she said the Crocs would do me wonders for my back because I was having a ton of back issues. And she was absolutely right. So, you seem like a good person at the core. Doesn't even matter what anyone else thinks or how much you achieve. And that's the thing. I like talking to people. I'm a very social person. The unfortunate part with that is in reality, I have 17,000 plus people following me on Facebook. Our views on Snapchat were up to 30,000 people at one time. Uh, Chevy salesman, you are in the wrong room for that.
Making them dirt.
Do you suck dicks?
Sir, no, sir.
Bullshit, I'll bet you could suck a golf ball through a garden hose.
Sir, no, sir.
Do you suck dicks? Do you suck dicks? Do you suck dicks? Do you suck dick?
I'm willing to bet that he does. Or she does. Yeah. Look at there. Look what I learned how to use. Boom. That's twice you've done that. You're out of here. Look what I learned how to do. Birkenstock. That's what my wife wears, actually. That's all she buys for sandals and flip flops. That's all she will buy, period. So she's tried the cheaper ones, and they're a waste of money for her because if she doesn't like them, she won't wear them, which I don't blame her. And when you're spending money on shit, you should want to wear it. So, yeah. Famous people need to realize that they're just like the rest of us and put their pants on one leg at a time. Hell, famous people ain't even going to wear pants. It becomes publicity for them. The other thing that I caught criticism for, and I will say this, and I will say this proudly, my wife got me into UGG work boots. No, they don't have the fur on the top. They actually look like real work boots. Most people don't even know they're Uggs until I tell them. So, I met Minnesota twin Dan Gladden, very nice and down to earth. Talked with him for about 30 minutes. I asked him if he really to Hannah Jane told Hannah Jane to fuck off, and I don't shake communist supporters' hands. And he said, "You damn right I did." I've met some famous sports people in my life. Maybe some of you guys won't remember these guys, but Tim Irwin and Wade Wilson, formerly of the Minnesota Vikings, went fishing with both of them. Spent an entire day out on Waverly Lake with him. Tim Irwin used to come to Waverly Days. Some friends of his and Wade's used to have a cabin out on Waverly Lake, and I've been fishing with both of them. Absolutely phenomenal. And of course, because I was a young teenager, I was 14 years old, they loved messing with me constantly. Loved messing with me. And, met Ken Herbeck. Ken Herbeck was absolutely cool. Ken Herbeck and his and his outdoor stuff, absolutely phenomenal fan of that guy. Tim Irwin had a bass boat that I have ever since loved. This thing was a custom built bass boat. This thing had a 250 horse motor on the back, but had a throttle pedal on it because this thing would fly across the lake. But you want to talk about a guy who's dedicated to fishing. Tim Irwin had a tackle box labeled for each individual lake. Like the back of his truck at the time, his whole truck and his boat was the entire Vikings setup all the way down it. I mean, it was the purple with the horns, the purple and gold, everything. And this bass boat was the baddest. I think this is why I have an obsession with bass boats, is because this thing was the baddest thing I'd ever been in my life. And the guy in his truck had custom racking built because he had tackle boxes for each individual lake in the state that he would go to. So, Uh, you guys are still talking about Burks. Never tried them. I'm very hard on shoes, by the way. So you know, super down to earth, super humble and friendly. Snoop Dogg. Never met him. Probably baked. Well, I don't know if he's probably on the perma bake trip by now. But him and Martha Stewart seem to be hitting it off pretty well. I got in the booth at the Twins game with Dick Bremer and Bert Benevolent. Hubby and I got on TV. So cool. Uh, Bert showed his mic off at times and talked to just us. Best birthday ever. That would definitely be cool. Uh, Give me 1 second here, guys. Sorry, guys. Had work stuff I had to do. This is the hard part. Um, this is going to be the hard part of the whole situation. So, what did I miss here? Why is everybody's names coming in purple? Uggs are really comfortable. I will tell you this right now. What people don't understand is because, of course, everybody's seeing the boots with the fur that look like slippers. Uggs actually makes a work boot series. They were very good, but I'm very hard on shoes. They're still holding together, but the insulation deal of them is not so well. Uh, I actually really enjoyed them. They're very comfortable, very easy to wear. So, uh, someone remind me how to shift a semi. It's been too long. You don't shift them anymore, Matt. They got automatics, remember? You got the wrong kind. You got to get one of them ones with a Prius motor. You know, the ones that can't do over 45 miles an hour. Somebody sent me a picture of a dump trailer going down the road, and you could tell the trailer alignment was way off because she was dog tracking bad, bad. Like literally, when you can look straight down the back of or well, try to look straight down the semi trailer, and I can see the duals on the back of your semi. That's a bad deal. That is a very bad deal. So automatics are for Volvo drivers. If I would have bought my own right now, I'd probably buy a damn Volvo. They're comfortable. I'd have to learn how to. The one and only time that I drove an automatic semi truck uh, was a Volvo, and I constantly found myself reaching for a shifter and grabbing for a clutch, and I'm like, what the fuck? I cussed that truck out. I literally cussed that truck out. I only drove that truck about 150 miles, and I cussed it out all 150 miles. But I will tell you this: it was one of the most comfortable rides I'd ever been in. Tesla Semi. Uh, good for like 500 miles, pointless. No, actually, the Tesla Semi is actually good for 1,200 miles. One charge will get it 1,200 miles. Isn't that part of fucking hippie? Oh, yeah, I don't know. Just like a lot of drivers don't know how to drive an old twin stick. I grew up driving a twin stick, so when you put somebody these you put some of these guys in a twin stick and they're like, "What the fuck? How do I drive this?" uh, yeah, they're good for the Walmart is actually on the list to buy. I don't remember how many of them, but they're good for like 1,200 miles. They will run 1,200 miles on a single charge. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. I'm not gonna lie to you one bit. If they made a vehicle that would do 500 miles, would do a consistent 500 miles on a single charge, I would own an electric car right now because the maintenance on these things are ridiculous. They're stupid cheap. They are stupid cheap. I mean, you don't have, as much as I like hearing my exhaust and even in a semi truck rolling coal, and just laying the hammer down. I'm not gonna lie to you. If they made a vehicle big enough to go 500 miles to do what I did, I would own one. Just because of the cost effectiveness in and of itself. So, and people might criticize me and say, "Oh, you're not a real redneck." No, but I also have to make money, and when I don't have to put fuel in and things like that, I still rock a pair of moon boots. Man. Moon boots, baby. I remember I got made fun of for wearing them in high school, and it wasn't really funny when you got your head kicked in by a pair of moon boots. Because the thing is, they had some really nasty tread on the bottom of them, and if I got that on top of your face and rubbed you out like a cigarette butt, it didn't leave very nice marks on your face. Are they safe, though? Yeah. We used to own a Kenworth W9 285-inch wheelbase, super smooth ride. And, here's the thing. Depending on how much moon boots with red bag liners keep your socks dry. Like, hell yeah. Who the hell didn't do that? I mean, you were dirt floor poor until you were rocking moon boots with sandwich bag or with bread bags over your feet. You didn't know what life was until you were rocking them bad boys. If you ain't done it, listen, if you ain't done the moon boots with the bread bags, I encourage y'all to go. Walmart still sells them. You could still get moon boots. They were cheap. That's why my mom bought them. They were cheap. And then my grandma thought I really liked them, so she went and got me a pair the next year for Christmas. And I'm like, finally, my dad feels bad for me. He's like, this boy is outside all the time. So he took me out and got me a pair of brand new Sorel boots that I rocked like you wouldn't believe. Remember the Sorel boots where you had, a couple different liners, a couple different pairs of liners for them. And yeah. So I thought I was definitely the king of the hill when I was walking through. I literally wore my Sorel boots for probably... That's all I'd wear for like a month straight, was just wearing them. And then, of course, I started smelling right because your feet sweat to beat hell walking around school. And I'm not going to hear this clunk, 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 clunk. So, but they have to wear Wonder Bread bags because I like the polka dots. Ours was pan of gold white bread. So, didn't we all have moon boots at one time? I have no idea. I had a pair of Sorels that lasted me like 20 years. Best boots I ever had. Problem is I started working in a mechanic shop and working around welders and shit like that, and Sorel boots did not hold up very well in the mechanic shop. I will tell you that first and foremost. I am going to be getting a pair of Sorels this winter. because I learned that my UGG work boots are not very good for ice fishing. They're absolutely horrible for ice fishing. FYI, if you want a good pair of boots to wear just for your regular shit, guys driving, having to get out and strap down a load, take a load off. They're very light. They're very nice. Very well worth the money. Very comfortable. You can get a pair of UGG work boots, and that's the nice part about them. But outside of like doing outdoor recreation stuff, they absolutely suck. They're definitely, by all means, just work boots. Like if you're working on a cold shop floor or whatever, they work great. But my husband has Caterpillar steel toes insulated boots for work in a shop. I used to wear Caterpillar back in the day. When Target used to carry them, they used to be a really cheap boot you could get for like $20, but they were really good boots. They would hold up. And then I would wear the I forgot the name. What is the Walmart brand they carry? Taurus or something, whatever it is. They had these steel-toed work shoes that looked like Vans, and I used to wear those all the time. Although I did learn an interesting fact about Red Wing boots. I bought a pair of Red Wing boots from Runnings, and I found out the Red Wings that you get in a store like Runnings or a place like that, as opposed to going to an actual Red Wing dealer, they're two different types of boots. So when I had I like the eyelets where you just wrap them around. They're like the U shaped, or the hooks they call them. One of my hooks popped out right away, and I called Red Wing, and they're like, yeah, you have to go back to the box store once the warranty is up. That's kind of so. Used to be great hunting boots for the money, but last 4 years, now I won't even try them. Wow. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go back to the old-fashioned Sorels this year. I like the Sorel boots, one, because you could pull the liners out of them, and you could have a couple pairs of liners, so if they did happen to get wet, you could pull the liners out right away, wipe the boots out, throw another pair of liners in them, you're good to go. My dad used to carry 2 extra sets of liners with him just for that reason. So they had a boot truck that came to the plant. Yeah, I remember we used to do for the farm that I worked for, we used to do a big trip down to the cities, to a Red Wing dealer down in the cities, and they used to take us down there because the company would pay for half. So if all the workers go down, and it was kind of like, I don't know, I guess you call it our company party, because they would take us out to eat, and we'd go get our Red Wing boots and be back in time because we had to be up first thing ass crack of dawn to go back to work. So, all right, Chris, we'll catch you on the flip side. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, so I mean, shoes are all to personal preference. Like for years, all I ever wore, I did not like spend, like me when it comes to clothing. I'm the type of guy who does not like to spend money on clothing. I don't. I mean, literally, my wife goes to Walmart, buys me the sleeveless t-shirts, and she waits for them to be on sale for like $2 or $3, and I'm happy with those. I love those. On occasion, I get something like this shirt, or I go into redneckinvasion.org and I buy a shirt off of there. But other than that, I mean, for the most part, the one shirt that I have found that's kind of spendy that I really like are Duluth Trading Company. I really like those in the wintertime because they're a much heavier t-shirt. They're extremely durable. Definitely like, I'd love to get a sponsorship through Duluth Trading Company. That would be great. Anybody got any connections in Duluth Trading Company? I'd love to rock their gear. Print the Redneck Invasion shit on there, but it's too damn expensive. I'm a tightwad on clothing too. Give me clearance rack at thrift stores and I'm happy. All right, MM, thank you very much.
We're making them dirt road dollars. Way out yonder, having them holler.
And that's the thing. For me, it's like this. Okay, in all honesty, it's like this. When it comes down to it, Uh, I don't like to spend. I'm very hard on clothing. I am extremely hard on clothing. Like I have nice clothes that I wear to events, and those just stay hanging up. I might pull them down once a year, maybe twice a year. Carhartt does have very good shirts. I like the Duluth Trading Company because they're really geared towards the what they call the big and tall line. I like the fact that their shirts are longer, so I don't have to worry about keeping me bending over. As y'all see, I've only got a couple of their T-shirts, so definitely love the Duluth Trading Company lineup. But you know, I wear all my Redneck Invasion gear, so y'all can see my ass crack a lot on stream. But oh, clothing is kind of a interesting subject because I used to make fun of my son. There's this company I think is called Clicks or Wick or Glicks. Glicks, that's the name of it. Uh Glicks is the name of it. It's in the Candy Mall. And my son is bragging about how he spent $220 on a pair of jeans. I'm like, really? He's like, well, you got these name brand jeans. What did you spend on them? I said $25 through a guy at the halfway house that his girlfriend bought them for him, and they were the wrong size. And he's like, well, I'm gonna buy what I want to wear. It's like, go ahead. I don't like spending more than $20 on a pair of Wrangler jeans. Yeah. So it's like me in clothing. People are like, "Damn, you got a lot of clothes," but I don't think I have anything outside of my Duluth Trading stuff. Now, Duluth Trading makes flannels that I'm absolutely obsessed with. Uh, yeah. Uh, my son used to want Carhartt jeans when they were so cheap. It was unreal. Then they started catching up on the fact that they were pretty nice. Price went up. Yeah, I have a few pairs of Carhartt jeans. I get them from Fleet Farm when they're on sale. I don't like spending more than $20 on a pair of jeans because I don't want to feel bad for ruining them. I don't. You ask my wife, one thing you will never hear me want to do is spend. I will spend more on a hat than I will on a pair of jeans. Plain and simple. I remember when I was growing up, it was Gerbeau jeans, and then it went into Tommy Hilfiger jeans. I did get into the Tommy craze a little bit because I was a bigger guy. I had bigger calves, and it was really hard at the time because they didn't really make the relaxed fit jeans. Wrangler wasn't making relaxed fit jeans then, so it was really hard because I had really enormous calves, um, and it was really hard to find jeans that would fit. Either I would have to get jeans that were way too large in the waist in order to get them to go over my calves. Well, Tommy Hilfiger came out with basically a wide leg jean that fit perfectly. So I bought and they were $50 a pair when I bought them, and that was like, to me, that was outrageous. I thought that was the most outrageous thing, but they fit. So I went and bought 5 or 6 pairs of them. So silver tabs, Guess jeans. Yeah, and I pretty much, well, now I'm kind of wearing the Rustlers a lot more. Rustlers were jeans that I couldn't wear growing up because they just didn't fit. They were extremely tight. Um, now it's like Wrangler has gotten to be using a lot cheaper materials, so now I've been buying Rustler jeans because I like that heavy denim because they seem to hold up a hell of a lot better. Truthfully, um, the fire hose pants from Duluth Trading Company, absolutely great pants, durable as shit. Literally can't kill those pants, but they're expensive. Uh, you know, so I don't know, just kind of where I'm at. I'm not a fashion critique person. My wife is always like, "Oh, look at these," and I'm like, "They're flip flops." Yeah, but you don't understand. There's such and such brand, and I'm like, I know it if I heard it. That's about it. You guys were talking about them earlier, and I've already forgotten the name of them. If my kids wanted designer jeans, they have to pay the difference between giant designer jeans and regular jeans. I would cover costs if they didn't, including fashion designer name. And that's the thing. That's a good policy to have. My in-laws had that policy. My parents had that policy. My mom said I was just a weirdo because, for Christmas when everybody would ask me what I wanted. My mom, it's the same thing. I get a flannel every year, a package of socks, and cologne. I got my basic stuff. I got my basics covered on the holidays because then I could use all my money to, build go-karts and build my truck and do all that kind of stuff. So, I was pretty smart about that. I've never been big into clothing. I never got into Nike shoes, even though I had them. I never got into having Nike shoes or anything like that. People would buy them for me, but I didn't care. I'd wear a pair of Gitano shoes just as fast as I'd wear a pair of Nike shoes. It didn't matter to me. I'd rather wear my boots anyways. And I grew up wearing work boots. I didn't even get into really wearing cowboy boots until I think I was 18 or 19. I had a pair that I wore for dress growing up as a kid, but I never really wore them on a regular basis. So, one time my son paid the difference for designer jeans that lasted 2 weeks. Yeah. Yeah. All right, guys, we are done for the day. Holy fuck. This 3 hours goes quick. Like I said, excuse me. One of the goals is to get going here full time. And as we get to do that, as I get to going full time, I intend extending the morning show out an hour for the West Coast audience, so that way they can get on here and check it out more. Everything so far, we've got the East Coast covered, we've got Central covered. So by extending the show an hour longer would work out for our West Coast guys a lot better. So, anyways, I am going to get off of here. Again, thank you to Mill Pond Salon. Thank you to Romaine Berg and all you guys. Thank you to everybody who tunes in every morning, and to those of you who just came in. Make sure you check out 30 Says on Twitch. Check out Ohio. Also, make sure you check out the other guys who stop in here. Wolf from Custom Rods, 24 Clips. Check those guys out. They stop in on a regular basis. Swanee, I've not tried it yet. Probably do it this weekend. So, Hag Island days in Bird Island. So make sure you guys check all those guys out. Because I don't know, I'm not selfish. If you're in here supporting me, I'm going to support you. We're all family. So special thanks to all the streamers who come in here and support me also. I greatly appreciate all y'all. And to you who are going out fishing today, good luck to y'all. Catch a couple extra ones for me because I have to be on the road. Anyways, that being said, y'all keep them cold, keep the bottoms up. Redneck will catch you tomorrow.
I'm here to get mine. Some call me a sinner for the things I've done. Born with a heart of stone, fast with a gun. I'm here to get mine, then I'll leave this town. If you're standing in my way, I'll cut you down. You can't tell